All right, you're asking for it, so here it is. Listen to this.
I want you fucking laughing at. We partners pod, kid. You understand? We in here drinking, singing, singing, all that shit, dog. Sweating, getting wet, all that.
Welcome to the 142nd episode of the Drinking Partners Podcast. Yes, this is our Ronnie Lott episode because we hit hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're in center field. We out here controlling the defense. We're controlling the craft industry out in Pittsburgh because you know what? We're making sure everybody's covered. We're making sure everybody is accounted for. We're making sure that everybody is doing their job. And then if you come in our territory, we're gonna knock you the fuck out.
You know what I mean? And if you want to win, you should go through us.
Exactly. And if you don't know who Tom Cruise is, because I'm sure Ronnie Lott hasn't hung out with Tom Cruise. Maybe he has. They both got money. Whatever.
I bet you know who Tom Cruise is.
I do know who Tom Cruise is. He's an actor. And he was in love with Katie Holmes, and then Jamie Foxx took her.
That is some wild shit.
That is not wild. That's life. That's a person who makes better movies who took your woman. I am half of the hosting tandem, Ed Bailey. I'm joined as always with my co-host, Dave Bracey. Say what up to the people.
What's good with you people? We are the Drinking Partners, and if you're looking for us, you can find us on epicastnetwork.com/partnerspod. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, and Google Play under Drinking Partners. You can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook at PartnersPod. 142 episodes, man. We've been asking you, and we will continue to ask you, man. Please hop on iTunes, rate and review. That's how we know we're doing well. That's how we let others know that we're doing well, and that's how we continue to do well. So please hop on iTunes, rate and review.
Yes, you love us. You tell us when you see us in public that you love us. Now, at the click of a button, please tell the internet. And as always, and we forgot last episode.
We did.
And that's weird because it was an all-black episode, but we forgot to say, in lieu of rates and reviews, we will take shots of Hennessy. Shout out to Car Guy DJ and the Conways for starting that trend.
Yeah.
Now, if you do rate and review, please, what we're trying to do is have you rate and review. Let us know what episodes you really enjoyed. If you have a favorite episode, let us know.
Let us know the episodes you don't enjoy, man.
Don't tell me that. Tell Day.
Tell us that.
Tell Day.
That's how we get better.
I don't have a heart for that.
We got so many with reviews at this point, and they're so far. And I feel bad because I feel like that, like people are just gonna look at like, oh, these are just all their friends, like all 100.
I don't have but
reviews
6
are just their friends. You know what I mean?
I don't
like,
got that many fucking friends.
So we get a lot of 5, and I love the 5 stars. And if that's what your heart feels like, it's a 5
if you
star.
a 5-star chick,
but give us a 5 star and tell us, give us a little critique or whatever it is that you do. Just
now give us a 5 and then shit on us.
Yeah, shit on us with a 5.
Don't shit on our livelihood with a 1 star, but let us know in words what you really wanted us to change. We have a review here because if you do review, we'll read it on here.
Yeah.
We have a 5-star review from Funny Lover 227, and let me tell you something.
Funny Lover.
Well, she got 227, so that's dope. And Funny Lover, I love to have a funny lover. I have a choosy lover like Aaliyah. I have a funny lover,
make
a
them
homie
laugh.
lover friend. I have a lot of lovers if I could, but I can't because I'm committed. Here we go. All right, Funny Lover 227, loved it is the title of the review. I love these podcasts. I watch them whenever I have time to, and they never. Wait, hold on. That's crazy. I love these podcasts. I watch them whenever I have the time to, and they never make me laugh. Super funny, and I love the guests. Okay, Funny Lover was drinking when he or she wrote that motherfucking review.
Never make me laugh. Fucking hilarious.
I'm going to read this again, and you tell me what the fuck you was trying to say, Funny Lover 227. I love these podcasts. I watch them whenever I have the time to, and they never make me laugh. Super funny, and love the guests. I don't know what the fuck you was trying to say.
I don't know.
I think Funny Lover's a woman because she giving mixed signals. All right, you're confusing us.
She
got
us talking about her.
That was smart.
See,
That
we
was
want to
smart.
know more.
Now,
hey, Funny Lover, reach out to us. See, it wins. You see how that works? It's like the leave behind in your car. Like you wake up in the morning, you see some earrings, like, and you're like, oh, the little leave behind. Like that's what the little leave behind. Like
it depends on your situation.
Hey, hit us up online. Tell us what you really meant.
Not every time that earrings are left in the car, it's positive. I'm gonna tell you that. It depends on your situation. But thank you for the review, Funny Lover. I don't know what it means, but you are now internet famous.
There it is.
And if you want to get internet famous, if you want to just get famous in general, shout out Epicast.
Yeah,
right?
man, keep us sounding so smooth.
They make you sound smooth. I sound nasally as fuck. I sound like I'm the annoying kid in class. Like that's how I feel like I sound. But yeah, I guess I would sound worse if I didn't have Epicast.
Man, Epicast, man, like they keep it running smooth. And if you're looking for, say you're looking for, media to come out, you're looking for pictures, you're looking for your podcast to get cracking. You know what I mean, if you want to, get your product on an award-winning podcast such as this one, you know what I mean, hop on epicastnetwork.com/services. And tell them that the Partners Pod sent you.
Tell them we sent you. All right? We need these referral credits. We need this incentive. All right. Buzzy's over in the cut. He's got charts and graphs and all types of internet analytics.
The numbers.
We analytical now. Like I didn't want to be in a situation where motherfuckers was analyzing me off internet numbers, and now it's happening. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I sold out a little bit. Like I feel like what the fuck, yo?
A little piece of it.
But just help our analytics.
Yeah.
Hit up Epicast. Tell them some shit like you just told us, Funny Lover. Tell them you love us and we funny, but don't make you laugh. I don't know what that means.
No.
I don't know what that means. But Epicast is dope, man. That is the family.
True.
That is the family, and we just gonna get right into it because this is number 2 of 2. If you've been watching the live, if you've been watching the live stream, if you're still here after the first one, God bless you. You don't have shit to do with your life. But we're still here, and this is podcast 2 of 2, and we're gonna get right into it because it's about to get real sour here. Because we always shout this brewery out, man, for the sours, and hopefully in this cooler next to me is a bunch of sours. But if they got other shit, it's probably gonna be same quality. Yeah. But we have the owner and brewer here at Bloom Brew, Jeff Bloom, in the building. Say what up to the people.
What up, people?
Oh
Yeah, he's been here before.
He's ready. That what up people was like, I'm ready for whatever the fuck's finna happen. You about to get a fight with motherfucker like, what's up, nigga? You like, what's up?
Yeah,
like,
he came strapped like Rambo.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, like
he wasn't fucking around.
He was war ready. Like, he got a chest next to him.
Yeah,
like,
that's
what?
I'm not fucking around with up to the people. Like, I'm straight to it.
Well,
I was
reaching for the cooler lid. I was showing you my wares.
He's got a stocked artillery over here. Yeah, I mean, there's no humbleness.
He just came with just straight hops. Straight hops, like.
Now I have to ask you: has anybody brought hops in before?
I was gonna say I don't think anyone's just.
Nah, I don't think anybody brought a bag of hops to just be like, "This is what we do." You know what I mean?
Yeah. I got that work.
Yeah.
So here we go.
So what are we drinking on first?
I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna just delve right into the sours.
Yeah.
So let's do that.
All
so,
right.
the first thing I'm gonna bring out here might be one of the best to date. And it is it's a blueberry sour, barrel aged in a red wine barrel for about 1.5 years. And it has an equal amount of oak red wine character. And I mean, it's spot on. I took this, I took a sixth with it to the big pour, and it was just behind the scenes for all the brewers and friends of brewers,
we got access.
Everybody was digging it, So I'm really proud of this one. I think it's up there for sure.
Well, I mean, for the folks that are tuning in and they don't know, Bloom was one of the very first to come in and bless us.
Blessed us crazy that first time.
And I mean, like they introduced me to the whole sour wave, and since then. It's been tough to match or even come close to what you guys are doing then.
Yeah, if you've been following the cash, you hear us talking about it all the time.
So to come back, I mean, we're looking at what, like 2 years later, 3 years later?
Yeah, it's
like
about
3
years. It's
about 2.5 years.
Yeah.
2.5 years, yeah.
Well, a lot of my memory is shot right now. So I don't know what the fuck's on it. There's a few months of my life that I don't remember.
So I just poured this. It's actually going to be pouring a little bit flat. I don't like to leave it sit on ice at that temperature, but.
Why is that?
Think of it like this. You cook the best steak that there is, money can buy. Yeah. And then you put it in the refrigerator, let it chill out before you take it to eat it, man. You lose so much of the aroma, the flavor.
Yeah.
And it's the same that holds true with a beer. I really like to drink my beer right around 50 degrees is a pretty optimum temperature for it. So if you need to drink something that's like super cold, there's probably a reason that you're drinking it at that temperature.
Okay.
Shout out the shots at corns, shots at the.
You don't like the blue can? You ain't fucking with the blue can?
They're like, yo, make sure this shit is cold, cause. They started making cans, dude. Like, yo, that is all right.
It's funny that does put that into perspective, though. Like, so you're saying the chill will take away from the flavor to a certain extent?
Absolutely.
Because I mean, obviously, me being a novice, which I don't know how much longer I can keep saying that on this podcast, and we continue to grow. Like, it's always been keep the beer cold for me, like keep it cold. But then again, I guess if you have 40 beers in a cooler with a thing of ice, I guess they don't all get super duper cold.
I mean, I like a good beer that like opens up as you drink it. You know what I mean, you start off like with a pint and like, you're drinking it, and as you get to the bottom of it, it gets a little warmer and like some more like, flavor profiles and characteristics kind of come out, and like,
absolutely.
And I think that like it might start off cold, but by the end of it, I think it probably gets somewhere into that like the where it should be, that optimal temperature.
There's a few styles of beers that are really meant to be drank at colder temperatures, but for the most part, if you're looking for something that's super flavorful, whatever profile or beer that is, it's in your best interest just to let it warm up for a bit. Let it sit at room temperature, and you'll be rewarded for it. Just wait 10 minutes, and you'll definitely be rewarded.
That's just like a steak. I mean, you pull it off,
right.
and like you let it sit there for about a good 5-10 minutes, and then you let it. And then you dive in.
Yeah, I mean, with food, for me, it's always best with food for it to be hot. I mean, I like it. Just that juiciness is in there and all that. I always felt that beer was supposed to be cold. Now I have an excuse, to be like, when I fall asleep and leave the beer on the counter, I'll be like, "Nah, I was trying to get you right, baby. You can't be mad at me, wife. I was trying to get you right. Taste the beer now. Now it might be 9:30 in the morning because we just got out of bed. But yeah, drink it now."
Yeah, when I was out in England or whatever, they actually had the warm lagers or whatever. I mean, and like that was the first time I actually tasted something. I was like, "Oh, this ain't bad." Like, it's not warm like a
it's
like
not
armpit.
not room temperature.
Yeah, it's not. It's like chilled slightly.
Cellar temps.
Exactly.
So we're like 50-55 degrees cellar temperature.
Yeah.
But
I don't know what 50-55 tastes like. I know what it feels like. 50-55 is jacket hoodie weather.
Yeah.
I don't know what 50-55 is on my tongue. Pause.
You'll have to give that a shot then. But you'll see a noticeable improvement with it. I guarantee it. 50-55 is a sweet spot.
It's a sweet spot. So what do you think? What would you guess or gauge the temperature to be on this now? Because I still get a lot of flavor from it.
Oh yeah, it really is. I mean, I'm just pulling it out of the ice right now. Like I said, typically I don't like to do that, but
I don't even like blueberries, and this is fucking amazing.
Thanks, man.
God damn, like,
I do not like blueberries.
Dude, it's something.
How do you dislike
in the flavor?
blueberries?
I mean, why do you dislike any particular flavor? It's just something in it that I don't like. You know what I mean?
So that's cool with blueberries, but not watermelon.
No, because your whole shit about watermelon is that it doesn't have flavor.
Like
it does taste like shit. It tastes like watermelon.
Solid water.
It tastes like watermelon.
It tastes like solid water.
It's like melon. There's one thing if you be like, oh, well, yeah, I mean, I don't believe in the flavor, but there is actual flavor
I don't
in there.
believe in
you
the
don't
flavor.
Believe, you say
what
it don't have flavor because you say it don't have flavor, but there's clearly flavor there.
The flavor. It tastes like solid water with seeds.
Solid water is ice, my nigga.
Exactly. Exactly. Soft ass ice. That's what watermelon is.
So what's been new in the 2.5 years since you've been on the podcast? Because I mean, I went down, I got to do the little lazy float. You know what I mean, which is shout out to the Mon. That's a great. I suggest anybody to go down there. You know what I mean, fill up on some growlers, start hop on a little canoe, and then just float for 3 hours. You know what I mean, that's an amazing trip. Which is awesome. Like, but what have you guys been up to?
So a lot of things are new. A lot of things just remain the same. In the time since our first podcast, Steve was with me, which, he was my other partner when we started this journey. And about 1.5 years ago, he finally made a decision that for the sake of his family that he needed to step away. So we parted on friendly terms. I mean, we still see one another and so forth, and there's no issue with any of that. It's all cool. But it was definitely a big adjustment for me. Steve was just my other partner, and now no matter how you look at it, you have to sort of look at it like it's a relationship. I mean, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's your married business relationship.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
So I have a partner that I could rely on that would do 50% of the work and was bringing in 50% of the money that we needed and so forth. And you know, when Steve left, it was a bit of a learning curve for me. You know, so.
Yeah, I mean, I experienced a little of that, like when Ed went down early in the year or whatever, and it was just like, I was like, oh shit, like this still is going on, but I don't have the, I mean, like my ace. Like,
I was there in spirit, sort of.
So yeah, I mean, that is tough to like continue and then have to double up.
It was tough, you know. It was because I was usually responsible. I was the guy that always came up with the recipes, and I took care of the inventory, and I had my own you know, portion that I had to maintain. And Steve had a business degree, and Steve sort of stepped up and took care of everything as far as paperwork and all the legalities with everything. And so once he left, I had to learn to take all that responsibility on. Absolutely. You know, it was just a lot of research and a lot, and, you know, not that there was a ton of, you know, more time. It was just more things that I had to learn.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And learn on the fly.
Exactly. And the other thing, you know, Steve and I, we, over the past few years, we went through having some people help us out, you know, in the assistant brew level. And when people weren't available, Steve and I would just take turns brewing. I mean, we'd put in a full day's worth of work. And then we would go to the brewery, and, you know, 2-3 nights a week, we would be alternating brew nights. So you just sort of got used to it. But then when Steve left, I was like, you know, I'm not going to be able to do this on my own. I just can't do it. So we have our assistant brewer now, Dan Dethorn.
Okay.
Who
Danny D.
He stepped up to the plate probably about 3 or 4 months before Steve backed away. And we were teaching him how to brew, and he was, you know, showing a lot of interest in it. And honestly, without Dan down there right now, there's no way I could do everything by myself. So I'm you know, shout out to Dan, man. I'm just super appreciative for that. Because
I mean, that's important. I mean, we've seen a lot of that, like in the brew, you know, industry or whatever, that focus on like a family type of environment, and then finding talent, like, you know, and cultivating that, like, you know, and that apprenticeship. Yeah. Second episode.
You was there.
Yeah, I mean, like that. I mean, but like, you know, because you don't know where you're going to find that help. You know what I mean? And you have to stay flexible. You have to stay nimble, like in what you do or whatever. And like, you know, having somebody step up to the plate. And you look at like sports in general, like, you know what I mean, somebody step up to the plate when you need that or whatever. If you're only in it for yourself, then when shit goes south, then nobody's there for you because you always been for yourself. But if you're cultivating other people, like, you know what I mean, and you're helping them like come up and like, you know, brew or whatever, then, you know, when things happen and, you know, like you can, you know, have them come in and like, you know, step up, or even, you know, introduce new ideas and flavors and like, you know, help your business grow as well. And that helps the community and that, you know, that whole, you know, sitch.
Absolutely. You know, and coming from the background that I had, where I just basically opened up a business with a homebrew background, you know, mm-hmm. And I did volunteer for a little while here and there, you know, bottling and going to different breweries and just learning as much as I can on the fly. Mm-hmm. The great thing about the size of our operation is just what we're able to do, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you're pumping out like what, 24 beers?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and like that, I don't know if you guys, if you're listening or not, you go down there and it don't look like they got 24 beers worth of space. And
I don't know what 24 beers worth of space. I don't have a concept of what that's going to look like.
It doesn't look like that.
Like at least breweries produce a lot of good shit.
Like, yeah, I mean, I look at Hitchhiker, like they were a Nano or whatever. You know what I mean, like. But they, you know, when they first started out, like, and they started around the same time you guys did and whatnot, and like, you know, they were still on the like, you know, 8 to 12 like range, like in their space as a Nano. And then I went down there or whatever, and like you got 24 different beers. And I go to like, you know, breweries that have much larger like facilities, and they have maybe half of that like on tap. You know what I mean, like, so to put that out in that space is,
how do you even navigate, or how do you even quality control that many different because it's different. I'm assuming there's different factors that go into each one.
It is
different temperatures, different different processes and things like that.
Actually,
how do you
just for a visual? I keep a bunch of whiteboards around the brewery, and I track everything. It's just instant access. I don't have to sit and look at a tablet and pull something up that I can't read anymore because I'm getting old. So I can see it across the room. It's on a big whiteboard. But no, we keep track of everything, and we have to line up just like every other brewery. But I mean, we have to line up when my fermenter space is available, when this beer is ready to keg, and I'm just trying to keep way ahead of the game so we're able to time everything that we can continue with the variety. And it isn't that difficult of a task. I mean, we've been doing it for so long right now. Now, I will tell you this, if we do get a larger brew house, which is eventually going to be in the future, I don't know if I'm going to be able to maintain 24, but I'll be damned if I'm going under 18.
Right. What are some of those challenges that come with a bigger brewery versus a smaller one that would have like some of the issues
down the amount you would think, because conventional wisdom would say a larger brewery, it would make it easier for you to maintain the 24. But what are the
big thing with the larger brewery or larger brew house is we put our brew house together. Everything we sort of made by hand. A lot of sweat equity, built a lot of things and so forth. So our one barrel brew house we build ourselves. But when we step up and let's say I would get into a 3-barrel, 5-barrel, 7-barrel, somewhere in that vicinity. The one good thing about that for sure is right now we're just sort of still winging it, just a level above a home brewer as far as temperature control and processes and things of those nature. But when we get a larger system and we have larger fermenters that are glycol controlled, we can dial in specific temperatures. We can just, eliminate a lot of outside possibilities of anything going wrong with a beer, So having a bigger, better brew house, I mean, if we're doing this, at a homebrew level, basically is where we're at right now, and I can put something out that I think is pretty damn quality, we have nowhere to go except for up. When we get some better equipment and we're able to dial in everything.
So why would your product, like the amount of beers that you have on tap, go down in that situation?
Well, what would happen with that is when I've been trying to stay away from this for the longest time, but a lot of the places have opened up recently, and you have a lot of people with outside funders and wherever the money came from. And, I'm not trying to bash anybody. I mean, it's just business is business. When you're in that situation, and let's pretend you're putting out, half a dozen good beers, and then, when it comes time for the monthly revenue check to roll around to your investors, they want to make sure that they're getting a return on their capital. So the unfortunate thing is you're locked in to just keep reproducing these same 6 beers because
that happens,
you're paying
in
the bills,
you see that in popular culture in general, that you get there's a wave, there's a trend, there's a sound, for example, in music, and so they'll be looking for a sound. So that's why, quote unquote, the mumble rap is huge now, because that's what's getting the return. We don't want to hear lyricism.
So they'll look at the numbers and be like, And I guess like with a smaller batch, like it's okay because it's a smaller, 24 at a smaller in each one, as opposed to like if I brewed it, I'm gonna brew a whole, and then one that you might love or a few people might love that doesn't sell as much, then that has to go by the wayside because you're in the bigger production.
So 1 barrel, we can do what we want when we want, anytime we want. It's sort of, it just comes down to the only limitations being ingredients from the feds. But above and beyond that, we're all
feds
all
always
open,
in it, right?
They're in it, man.
They got their fingers, they got their hands in every motherfucking thing. Goddamn feds. So have you noticed, or has there been a change in style since you've gone from, you've moved on to, I'm thinking DD, because everybody needs a designated driver every now and again. Your DDs, now that DD's your right hand, have you noticed a difference in style or anything, or have you I guess got him onto your on your spectrum of how you produce beer, and so now he's producing it how you all have been? Or has it changed because you're working with a different right hand?
No, Dan isn't at that point where he's just sort of delving into recipe development right now. Okay. He's been a huge fan of ours from day one, and just what we put out, we already put out such a big variety of stuff. It isn't like there aren't going to be that many changes, but I always encourage Dan to please take the time to learn. He's just, I wish I had the extra time to do this, but he'll homebrew. He'll still homebrew 5-gallon batches and just, play around with different recipes and stuff. Yeah. We just don't have the wherewithal to be able to do that at the moment.
Already doing 24.
Yeah. Well, that's just we're just getting started, man, because there's always room for improvement. There's always room to just, continue to improve everything, and I've said this, from a long time ago, but especially with all the breweries opening up, you better be on top of your game, because it isn't so much that it's, competitive, although there is a portion of that, because it's just where somebody decides that they want to choose to spend their money for the evening.
Yeah.
So you really have to stay up on top of it. And you can't ignore the fact that, things and they just change over time with what somebody wants. 2-3 years ago, they were just getting into that New England hazy craze thing. It was just getting out of the gate. And now it's way up there. And there probably isn't a brewery at this point that isn't reproducing or producing
it's almost like a staple. They kind of have to have it just.
Well, you have to. I mean, you have to stay up. You have to stay up with with whatever the current trends are.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to stay up on top of your game. But not worried about that at all. I mean, we've been doing some things that are very similar to that, and like I said, there's no room to go except for upward. But
yeah, I mean, I see it like the brew industry and even artists in general, or whatever, kind of like a league where like you're competing. I mean, you want to win, you want to be the best that you can, but you're still a part of the same league.
Absolutely.
I mean, like there are football fans. At the end of the day, you still want people to watch football. You still want people to watch baseball. You're all like kind of working together to get people to watch what you guys do or drink what you guys make. I mean, but at the same time, you want to be the best at what they're drinking. I mean, so like,
there's definitely support. I mean, you have to be supportive of one another in the industry, and that's definitely it's there. You can't blindly say that everybody has everybody else's best interests at heart, because the reality is you're running a business, and you have to stay on top of your game in order to survive. But there definitely is there is a camaraderie within the industry, and really it is. It's one of the best things I've ever been involved with. I mean,
yeah, I think my life's code is everybody's going to do what's in their best interest, and I think that's the safest way to approach people. And what's really good about the craft industry is what's in your best interest is to big up the industry itself.
Yeah.
Don't make it so competitive that me as a consumer, I can see the dissension between the two breweries. Support each other, because I'm spending money on craft brew at a lot of times. I'm not spending money for individual breweries. So I may like this sour, I may like this IPA. I mean, you know what I mean? Like it's I'm in the industry now. So if I'm looking for a sour and then I go taste your sour and it's whack, I might be done with craft altogether. Now that hurts the sale of an IPA from another thing, and I think you guys understand that. And it's really dope working with y'all. It's really dope watching y'all work together.
So what's the next thing you got on deck?
I just focused on getting to the next
I actually got a little bit sidetracked, but we were.
He's been focused on both casts. He's been super focused on getting to the next bit.
We were discussing, and it actually is a good point to make, but we were discussing, how do you keep this variety and what can you do, So if you have a 30-barrel brew house, it's a little bit tougher to be able to put 24 beers out, just because, obviously, the funding came from somewhere for that 30-barrel brew house.
You got to make sure.
But, my whole plan, and it has been from day one, is to stay on the smaller scale, maybe a 5-barrel, maybe 3, 5, 7, somewhere around there. And the big key is just to have a bunch of fermenters. And if I have all these, 3-barrel, 5-barrel, 7-barrel fermenters, I can still put out a big variety of beer and do it on my own terms. So that's how we're going to pursue it.
Wow.
Do you think that's where craft breweries and producers will go as far as that mindset moving forward? Because what I've seen just working with the industry is there's the brewery for your side of town, for your immediate area. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if there's going to be a large Budweiser type craft brewery where we have all this commercial beer craft that we're putting out. It seems that it's a labor of love. You know what I mean? And if I can maintain, if I can live well, if I can flourish to a certain extent while doing so, I'm willing to sacrifice this larger, super commercial goal just to be able to maintain and provide what I love. Because that's what I took from what you were saying. And do you think that's how craft brewers kind of approach the industry, and maybe that's why that their shit is so much more high quality? Like,
yes,
or they're just trying to get in and sell out as quick as possible.
No, that would suck. I don't buy that one so much. I mean, I'm just looking from the local scene right here, from my perspective. But and there are so many of us that you look back 10 years ago. I mean, how many brewers were there? Very few. And all of a sudden, there's this explosion. Everything's happening. And when I actually got my start home brewing, it was in 2007. So I've been brewing, since then for 10 years, 3 years commercially. But I think with the coming from the home brewer's perspective, and I can speak for some people I know, like Andy,
from
Hitchhiker.
Shout out to Andy.
So Andy, and he's like-minded as far as he just wants to keep cranking out product. He puts out a bunch of different things, and he's not afraid to experiment. And, if you think that you're going to, like I said, if you're going to make one recipe and you're just going to sit back and you think the money's going to roll in, you're going to be left in the dust. You won't be open for business for long,
Can't focus on the past. It has to be a has-what.
Exactly. So I think a lot of it is that right now. And it's just, it's good for everybody. It really is. It's good for everybody.
Nice.
We were saying on the last podcast, I really think craft is the future, man. Like, I think everywhere you go, there's going to be somewhere to get craft, and then that's what you're going to, as an adult, if you're an adult focused on living your best life, not just like having fun and shit, but just living your best life, being professional, having a good time, being able to enjoy yourself, not sacrifice so much that you just can't enjoy yourself. You just you're a worker bee, but nah, just you drink some alcohol, but it's craft. You know what I mean? Like, it's good alcohol.
I think there's gonna be like the switch. There was a swing in business in general and like capitalism or whatever. This whole global like push, and we are a global society, and these global corporations, and like making everything big, and like producing it and shipping it out all over the world or whatever. But like now we're starting to see people like that focus on local everything. You know what I mean? Because that's sustainable. You know what I mean? So like, craft beer is just one of those locals. I mean, you have brewers that are getting their hops locally. They're getting like, you're getting your beer locally from a brewer. Like, like your food and your products and everything, all of this focus on local. And like right now it's kind of tough because the price point isn't right where everybody is like, it's accessible. But as it continues to focus or whatever, and you have like, the community grow, then it starts to become more accessible. Shout out to Farm to Table, who's one of the, organizations that, like pushes that or whatever. But like at the end of the day, like you want to start to see towns that are just like locally producing what they, as much as they can in that community to, kind of avoid that. And I think just, craft brew is just one of those, waves.
Prior to me opening my own business, I mean, I sort of had that mentality to begin with. I grew up, where I'm at, just 3 miles outside of where I had the brewery. I grew up on a farm, that. But I always tried to support, local business and spend my money because I know where my money's going.
Yeah.
And I can't delve into my daylight job. I just can't do that. But
cool. We don't want you to do that.
Yeah, I don't want you to do that.
I don't even talk about.
We leave our day jobs at home.
Yeah. So especially now, and I try to partner up, and we try to get as many local ingredients as we can. And like I said, I've always been an advocate for that anyhow. So it's not that far off of what I've already been doing. Mm-hmm. But definitely, if it makes a big statement to say that I'm going to go to a local brewery to support a local family or people, so they can make a living, and where your money's going.
Yeah.
So I'm down with that. I mean, I've been down with that with so many businesses.
Well, that's how
so.
the Jewish community runs hip hop. They keep all their money in that small community, and then they go ahead and produce the next platinum album.
So what are you pouring for us now?
Okay, what I have is it's called Peach Buzz Sour, and this is made with Chambersburg peaches. This one is not barrel aged. This one is somewhere between 4 and 5 months old right now.
You did the on the first podcast. Did you have a peach that was in Chambersburg peaches?
I did.
It was like it was the
peaches, and I'm like, I heard this, and I don't know
yeah,
what the fuck
it was sour. Like I think it tasted like it tasted like a chicken wing. It was like it had a little bit of pepper in there.
There was some heat on it. Yeah,
yeah, a little heat on there or whatever.
Yeah,
my god, that was delicious.
There you go. You got to before the beer, you got a day sound effect. So I'm gonna say line them up.
I'm excited.
Line them up. Chambersburg peaches. I used to work at Giant Eagle, and I don't know anything about produce. Not a motherfucking thing.
So this particular sour, we got a hold of a new yeast strain about 6 months ago, and what we do is we just brew. You know, I can take one fruit. We'll try out 50 different yeast strains, different hop varieties. But super excited about this yeast strain, and the two fruits that I found that paired very well with this are peach and the other one mango. So we did sort of a taste test where we had this new yeast strain, and we had people that just came into the brewery, and I would just hand them little sample shots. And I would ask them, you know, what's your perception with this yeast without anything being added to it, you know? So the flavor, the aroma, what are they tasting? And then we all tried it with different fruits, and everybody came to the same conclusion that mango was like the number one winner with this yeast.
Yeah.
So we ended up doing a barrel age project. It's going to be in a French oak wine barrel. We just brewed it and kegged it back, put it in the barrel back in May. So it'll be May 2018 is when it comes out. But this particular yeast strain is just super funky. For me, I get like old shoe.
I was gonna say it tastes like sucking a chick toe after a hard day's work.
Old shoe. You could pour this in your work boot after a hard day's worth of work, and that's where Das Boot actually came
sucking
from.
a toe out of stiletto. This is sucking a toe out of nice stiletto.
But it's almost blue cheesy, funky. You know,
it's definitely a little drier than like it doesn't hit you as crazy on the.
And it does have. It's weird because, like, again, you taste it, and then all of a sudden that funk starts to swell at the end of it.
It is. It has that. It has that like fruit on cheese kind of. You know what I mean, like flavor or whatever. That's
damn. I'm gonna suck a toe tonight. Suck a mean big toe tonight after this.
That's crazy. Like how you put that in the cup.
This is aphrodisiac. You just pour this on, fellas. Pour this on your woman's toes on your anniversary.
It's crazy. The last time I had some Chamberlain like peaches or whatever, like it tasted like a wing. You know what I mean? Like, how do you put this in a cup? Like these random ass like dishes.
Is this a peach? Like, how is this a peach? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Man. I don't know much about fruit.
You gotta stop, man.
I'm sorry, I can't even respond. I just have to drink some of this because
oh my god,
it's absolutely one of my new favorites. But
no, this is I haven't had a sour that tastes anything.
No,
like
it's so funky, you know. So everybody has well, I want to say people that just haven't been exposed to sours have this misperception that if I hand somebody a sour and it's not sour enough, they go, well, that's not that sour. But that's not how sours operate. Sours go all the way from just being mildly tart to mouth puckering, blow your head off sour.
Makes sense. We were talking in a prior podcast about how like there's like a whole like that whole Belgian like the sour. There are like hundreds of like types of sours.
Yeah, once you have an overarching group, there's going to be subgroups.
Yeah, like and it's such a diverse.
At this stage of the game, I bet you yeast strains, we're close to 50 sour yeast strains that we reproduce and make our sour beers with. But and they're just such a phenomenal flavor. I mean, like I said, sometimes I want to be just hit in the face with sour. Sometimes I like, the low end of it, but I really enjoy all the funk and the different characteristics that go all the way from one end to the other,
When the funk hits the fan, smelling like chitlins, grits, and ham. It's gonna get funky. I like this shit.
No, this pairs well with pizza because I'm hungry for
How
pizza
you
right
taste
now.
it? Yo, you've been on this pairing shit all day today. Like,
I want
rocks
some
with
pizza
it.
right now.
That mean we drink it too goddamn much. When Day is drinking shit and it's like, you know what? This goes good with. Then we don't have to go down to Hoptoberfest no more.
I'm about to order some paisanos after this, man. I'm gonna definitely need a cheese pizza.
I'm like, now you said it. I'm like, you know what? You know what? With the dough and the cheese.
Yeah, I mean, like, it ain't too bad right there. Ain't too bad.
It's a beer for everything. It's funny to me how somehow with beer, that funk is a positive.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, and I guess we were talking about it on a couple, like last time we came here, you was talking about with cheese and things like that.
Yeah.
I'm not a big cheese person. Like, I do American and provolone. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, so I've been in all the cheese. I guess this is my cheese now. Kraft is now my cheese. It's like that funk at the end, even when I was like, it's like sucking the toe out of stiletto. That could be thought of as a disparaging mark, but I'm in a positive way. Like,
Yeah.
wifey come home, I see her at the door, like, ooh, you look good in that dress. I'm gonna suck your toe, and I'm gonna suck the toe out the stiletto.
But even American and provolone, all cheese is like, rotten milk. Like, like it's some shit that went bad and then they fucking, spice it the fuck up and put it out or whatever. So like, typically like beer in itself was just some funky ass bread that was laying out that like somebody was like, oh, what is this? I guess they were hungry enough and they ate it and was like, oh, I got fucked up off of this moldy ass like shit that was just sitting there. And then we just started drinking that, like eating that shit, drinking it. So beer in of itself is not a thing that you would, like an animal would put into their body.
No. It's not clean. You have to remember that this all goes back to fermentation, so it's a process of...
it's waste.
Exactly.
We're drinking the waste of another animal. Like you look at honey is puke.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Anymore.
So
don't fuck up honey. Don't fuck up honey.
Like cheese, like the things that we love, they're discarded. And naturally, an animal will come around and be like, nah, bro.
That's why they not living their best life. Live your best life, animals. I'm gonna keep it real. Like, it's funny. Most inebriants are throwaways, and that's crazy. Like, most inebriants are just throwaways, and you can, with them being throwaways, you can understand how they became inebriants. Somebody was down to their last. Somebody was down bad as fuck.
Yeah.
And was like, you know what? Let me just.
But you got to look at like the best foods in life.
Well, soul food.
Or those soul
That's
those
what soul food
those
is.
struggle foods, like those things that we value
Except for
now
just-
are the things that poor people ate, and they were like, this is the worst shit, but we got to make this palatable. So and beer is the same thing. And cheese and all that. Like it's the shit that was like, yo, I'm down to my last, like, and I'm just eating this because, and then you figure like, oh shit, this might not be too bad.
Hey, Day, you know what we have left in the fridge tonight? We got a piece of cheese, but it's turned blue. Do you want
ain't
that?
ate nothing
I
today,
ain't
if you
that
ain't ate all
fucking blue
day,
cheese. I ain't eat that fucking blue cheese.
if you ain't ate all day, you start getting creative. Like, I'm gonna heat it up. I'm gonna take a little piece of bread, roll it up.
Maybe if I spread that on a cracker, it won't be too bad.
Yeah. Or you get high and you forget that it's blue and you just pump it. You be like, what the fuck
Who
is
the fuck decided to start smoking shit? That's what I'm trying. Eating shit is one thing. It was like, yo, let me just roll this motherfucker and smoke it.
Well, that shit fell in some fire. You just got to breathe in it. You were like, what the fuck?
Give me a
And
knife.
then a couple hours later, you're like, you know what?
Whatever happened earlier was all right.
Give me a knife. Let me scrape off that fuzzy layer. I'm sure there's something good underneath of it.
I want to see the original, whoever originally discovered that weed was weed. Like, yo, you know what? Let me tell you something. Take a leaf off of this tree.
Take a leaf, roll it up in another leaf, and like.
And who used it? Who used it as an aphrodisiac first? Like, babe, come over here. Come over here. No, listen, I've been following you around the village, but I got some shit over here that you need to try. I know you don't trust me.
Yet.
I heard the stories about me. They're not true, all right? I got this shit over here. Trust me.
Trust.
She was like, okay. Oh, the village owned this shit.
Man, well, yeah, I think that, like, I mean, I think just humanity. If you tell another motherfucker, listen, I got a way to get you fucked up. It depends on where they at in their life. They might be like, you know what, I'm gonna try that. You know what I mean?
It's
like,
very rare you meet somebody who don't like to get faded.
Exactly.
Like, and when they tell you they don't like to get faded, you kind of look at them with the side eye, like, oh, so you just live in reality 24/7.
Yeah, like what happened that made you decide to go down this path?
Just 24/7, you just on some real shit. Huh? You just real all the motherfucking time.
But I mean, typically those type of people like are manic in other ways. You know what I mean? They typically feel it because everybody has a vice of some sort. You know what I mean? Them is the type of motherfuckers that knit like crazy. They just be like, I'm knitting. And it's like, what are you knitting all these motherfuckers? You go into their basement and they just got a bunch of dolls and shit. Like, they don't drink, but they got like 18 bears and crocodiles.
My favorite is when they knit a square and it's an oven mitt. No, that's not an oven mitt. That shit don't fit on my hand. It's just thick as fuck, so I don't feel the heat. That's not why you knit it like that. You was frustrated. You was lonely. This thick ass.
We was out drinking. You was in your basement because you ain't want to sip the devil's liquor. Yeah, you know I mean, like, more power to you. All right, so you pulled out this. So what is this? Because that looks like a Stella glass, like some German.
It's clear.
It's a Grolsch bottle.
It's a Grolsch. Is that what it is?
It
is.
is.
Grolsch bottle. What's a Grolsch?
Grolsch
sounds German.
You said wit and Grolsch. Those are two words I've never heard before, so I'm Googling after this.
Grolsch is actually the manufacturer, and it's like a German lager. It's sort of a skunky characteristic to it.
More funk.
But in any event, we were actually discussing a little bit of this before the show started, and the brewery has been super busy the past couple of months. And normally I have a lot more what I want to call off the cuff beers that I like to bring down, but we just ran out. We just flat out ran out. So
that is a good problem to have.
Yeah,
clearly you're on the right podcast because
like, you're not gonna come here talking about we just ran out like it's a bad thing. So, oh no, we just selling too much. You know, I couldn't do what I wanted to do.
I did not want to disappoint. Selling. So I brought some of my personal stash.
Personal stash. You got the
This motherfucker just came to our podcast and, people just keep buying shit. I mean, I don't know where this whole buying shit came from.
I've been reaching my personal for y'all, Like, don't tell me.
I woke up to all these orders. Like, who places an order in 2017?
Y'all reached me on a bad time. I'm in demand. That is a smooth ass humble brag with your Grolsch bottle. That is amazing, man.
I'm trying to.
So I wish I was a little bit more prepared.
I'm glad.
I would have saved a little bit more than what I currently have. But so what I'm going to pull out is a series of ciders that I made when I was a home brewer. And these date back 6 or 7 years ago. So
exclusive.
Yes.
For real.
Yeah. Now, I only made a limited amount of these at the time. So, 5 gallons, 10 gallons.
Exclusive.
Yeah. Real exclusive.
Buzzy got to put in the exclusive.
We're on the new right now. We on some shit y'all not going to be on. You're not going to be
world
off
premiere.
This. Yeah.
So I have a friend of mine that actually has a fruit orchard. And
who the fuck just got a fruit orchard?
Yeah.
So many humble brags in here, lol. Like
my buddy, he's got a fruit orchard.
Stunting is so eloquent. Like,
so we get together, and we like to consume and do different things, So.
Just be down on this orchard
we
bullshit.
Just down chilling in my man orchard. you know how crazy I look if wifey texts me like, "Where are you?" I'm in my man's fruit orchard right now. It's over that day. I'm come home, all my shit's packed. I gotta go. She don't believe that. She's chilling at my man's fruit orchard.
I'm thinking of mashing some of his shit up.
So we actually have
people.
We have a fruit press. I mean, I have one too, but he's got a fruit press, and we go up and we get together, and when it's time, we press a bunch bunch of fruit, pear, apples, and just make all kinds of ciders and some crazy off the wall stuff.
I remember when last time I was down at your brewery, we had it was like a black acorn brew that you guys had.
Black walnut, probably.
Black walnut, yeah. It was like a black walnut. It was like a 10% or 11%. It was heavy.
Yeah.
And you guys had gathered all these black walnuts or whatever and ground them up and brewed this fucking beer off of them.
I'm actually glad you brought that up because we'll get into that. For the next part of the yeah, something I wasn't even thinking about.
You brought a 10 spot with you.
So let me pop this. This is a pear cider, about 7 years old.
Nice. Wait. You just skipped over that real quick. It's 7 years old.
Yeah, no,
yes.
he said that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I got shit to do after this. I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna do it.
7 years old, aged. So this is aged.
It is aged 6 or 7 years.
I don't think I've ever had aged cider, to be honest.
I've not.
And this was naturally fermented, so it was spontaneously fermented. So what I did is I just put this into a stainless steel trough, and I just let nature take its course, and whatever microbes and yeast decided that they wanted to start to ferment this, we just let it go.
Come with
I
me.
let it go. So it came out a little bit funky. It's got a little bit of funk on it. But now this just sits down at cellar temps, basically down out of the light, 50, 55 degrees. And it's been like that for 7 years. But just like a sour, it continues to evolve. It's still a living organism that's in here, and it eats the sugars away. And that's what it does. That's what the yeast do. But if we're lucky, we're going to get a good champagne pop on this. I don't know if it's going to happen, but we'll see.
So for the listeners at home, shit's about to get real.
Wow. I'm gonna break my seal again.
Yeah, shit's about to get real. I'm looking at this I'm interested to see the color because looking through the bottle, it almost looked like it was gonna be clear because it's got the green bottle and shit like that. But
it's just it's a tiny bit yellow.
Yeah, see, they say good things come in small packages. This shit about to get real. So
now it's been a little while since I hit this stash myself. So
aging ciders, is that something that happens frequently? Because they said it's my first time hearing it as well.
I honestly don't know too many people that age cider. Normally people produce cider and then they drink it within a short amount of time.
This might be that new thing because with craft, there's always a new wave about to happen.
Well, absolutely, and this goes back to my love of sours, which predated me, even me homebrewing. I was turned on to sours back in the early 2000s. And, here's another example right here where this is a pear cider, but it's open fermented. You can smell a little bit of funk on it,
When the funk hits the fan.
Yeah.
Out of respect, I waited for you to get down here.
Oh, you ain't even take a sip yet?
You know
what man.
Out of respect.
I took a sip
that's because I brought you some
shit.
Cleveland.
You could drink it whatever you want. It's your shit. You probably had it at the crib. You know what I mean?
I wanted to make sure that everything was good, and it is. It's
a little tart right there in the nose.
Paul, hey, edit that whole.
Oh shit!
Edit that whole shit out, Buzzy. There was some weird sounds that came from you.
Oh shit!
It hit you. It hit you quick.
No, it's so complex.
Yes.
So
just like a sour beer, you can age whatever your base is for your cider.
But it doesn't have that that overly some not that it's overly, but that carbonation.
I was gonna say there's no bubbly in it.
Yeah, that bubbly because I feel like I get filled up a bit too much on ciders because of all that.
This particular one, what I did is I let the fermentation process happen, and then what you normally would do if you want carbonation in the bottle, I'm talking about a smaller scale. You would add a little bit of sugar into it, close the seal on it. The living yeast is going to be in there. It's going to work on that sugar that you added, and it's going to carb up. But I didn't want cider to be carbonated. I'm looking at more like a sour. I like my sours undercarbed. I like my ciders undercarbonated. And so you see it has a tiny bit of carbonation on it, but very little.
Yeah, it's very little. It's enough in there to
just enough in there that give you a little pop. But
yeah, oh my God, this is I don't know how to explain it, but
What
there's
fruit
just
is
so many
this?
flavors in there.
Pear. It's pear.
Do you have all the essential fruits tatted on your left arm there?
I do. So that's new as since the last time I've been here. But I just had a band the last time I was in. But I told my wife, and I had been thinking about doing a sleeve for a while, but I said we had so much time and everything wrapped up into opening the brewery. I mean, it took over a year just in paperwork, let alone anything else. And I said, if I finally get a piece of paper in the mail that says brewer, I said, I'm going to get a full sleeve of things that I want that are, brewery related. So this tat is fantastic. It's
Where'd you get it?
I got it at Black Star Tattoo in Bell Vernon. Jared Russell.
Yeah, shout out to them. This is good.
And Jared, and I went in with a concept of what I wanted. I didn't want somebody else's art on me. I wanted something original is what I want to say.
Yeah.
But I went in and I saw what Jared had done. I was looking through some books and I stopped at a few different places. But what really caught my eye was he did a back piece on a woman that was a fall foliage scene. So it was like oak trees and leaves and all these colors. And as soon as I saw it, I knew that this is the guy that I wanted to get my tattoo from.
Crazy, and it goes well with the bloom.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. It's
so I got a little
like
bit of everything in here. Wheat, peaches, and a hatch chili pepper and a pineapple. I raise bees, so I have bees on here.
Wait, Tom, you
raise bees?
Yeah, I raise
Where
bees.
the fuck do you live?
I also have a 2-acre fruit orchard too. I raise hops.
God damn.
So
wow,
whatever I can get, which it isn't. You'd think that I would be able to supply my own needs, but I get very little. But whatever I do get, we do use in the brewery.
So your life's so different. It's so different. Yeah. I don't think there's an orchard in within 27 miles of EC. Ain't nobody had an orchard.
I don't know
too
many people with orchards with whole ass sleeves that like fucking produce.
I don't know anybody that raised
like
bees.
this. Like, I mean, that's a whole ass. God damn, man.
I love what I do. I love what I do, man. I and another thing that I like to do is
I could taste it. I could taste it in this motherfucking cup right now. This is love in this goddamn cup.
It's
man.
Creativity.
He wanna make love in the cup, in the cup, in the cup. I don't know anybody who raises bees. Like, I stopped fucking with bees after that movie where the little kid got killed by the bees. What movie is that? Where the girl had the friend and the little dude got killed by the bees out in the woods.
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name of the movie.
Oh, that was
It's got
something
a simple
girl.
name.
You're gonna use
My Girl.
You see what
My Girl?
like-
yeah, it's My Girl.
just to
I stopped
show you.
fucking
You
with
see what's
bees after that.
you got some funk that's floating down at the
What
bottom.
is-
And
what is that?
That's just yeast. It's just yeast that was in suspension that fell out to the bottom.
So are we supposed to like mix it up, or do you want that to just kind of not really be in there?
Honestly, it won't hurt you at all. I mean, you're going to get a lot of beers with the same thing. If you don't filter a beer out, so getting back to that too is we don't filter anything out. We use real ingredients, real fruit and everything. Prior to the big hazy craze, I remember so many people coming into the brewery and complaining that our beer was hazy. Yes. And now they want me to pay them. And they want to pay me to make the beer hazy.
I mean, I always liked hazy beers. They were like heavier or whatever. Like there was some great. The mouthfeel to them was like different.
Here's exactly how it works out. So especially with IPAs, is you have your hops that break down in the beer, but they're floating around in particles in larger form in suspension. They're just in there, and that's a lot of that is causing the haze in the beer, not the style that we're talking about, but I'm talking predating the hazy beers. Yeah. So if you had a hazy IPA, there was just a bunch of hop matter floating around the beer. But what happens, what we found out through trial and error, that if you filter that out, you're actually taking away a big part of the aroma and the taste component out of there because you're filtering the hops out of the beer. You want those hops to stay in there. You want to taste it for what it is. You want to smell it for what it is. So that's something that we've always done. We've never filtered anything out. We use a little bit of clarification on certain beers, but beers that we want to keep that big, aroma, flavor profile, we do not. We don't even clarify that beer, let alone filter it.
It's almost like lumpy potatoes. You know what I mean? Like I love the texture of mashed potatoes. You know what I mean? With the lumps in it or whatever. You take the lumps out, and now you're getting mashed potatoes, but you're not getting that texture.
So on my day off, which was Saturday, I alternate working Saturdays at the brewery now. So my other thing that I love to do that I spend a lot of time when I have the time to do it, which isn't often, is cook. So yesterday you would have loved being at my house because I ended up making an entire roaster of stuffed cabbage, homemade mashed potatoes, carrots, and man, it was awesome.
Yeah, it's crockpot season, man. I love crockpot season.
Yeah, I mean, it seems. I mean, that goes without saying. A lot of the brewers, they love to cook. I mean, just creation. In that sense, creation of taste, texture, flavor.
The running theme that the culinary and engineering or whatever. Like,
no, it all works hand in hand.
Do you pair your beer with your shit you cook at home?
Not so much, but I'll just drink a beer with whatever. It's definitely
next level.
It's there.
You get to that when you're just pairing it.
But we do at least at home. I do cook with beer. So there are certain things that I'll work around.
I want to kind of get into
beer.
is cooking with beer. I gotta get into that. I do a little I'll do like some like grilling and smoking. But
I do some grilling and smoking
sauces.
If I ever start home brewing, I'm gonna start pairing shit like that. That's a lot of swag involved. Like if I could pair the drink you gonna have with the meal I provide. You know what I mean? Like right now, I just buy alcohol if I cook. You know what I mean? Here, just have some alcohol with this good food I cook. But if I could pair that shit to where it, tastes well together. Like, this goes together. Like, that's something I can offer that and you ain't get from no other man.
Certain things just come across really easily, So last year we ended up making a beer called Shweet, Shweat.
Sweet.
So it's a pineapple habanero beer. With almost a little bit of smokiness on it. When I tasted it, I was like, you know what? I think I can cook a ham with this.
It's like a luau. You know what I mean? That sounds like a luau.
So, man, we made our, I don't remember whether it was Easter or whatever time it was, but we ended up putting a ham together with that Shweat, the habanero, the pineapple. And, man, it was so good. It was so good.
I'm definitely getting some pizza out this motherfucker. It might even be a Hawaiian pizza. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Changing the pizza is going to order with
I guess whatever the last thing I drink is probably going to be the pizza I order.
With everything you say, his order changes.
So I'm gonna pop into another cider.
All right.
Just because I want to. So
tell us about this.
This one is this was a blend of I think 4 different apples from my friend that has the orchard. And I used I ended up using a manufactured cider yeast that came from one of the companies like White Labs or whatever. I just, because I didn't want to take a chance with just, the natural yeast or bacteria that are in the air. I wanted to make sure that I was going to get something solid and consistent.
Yeah.
So this particular
variables.
one, exactly.
Yeah.
So this was made with, I think it was a White Labs cider yeast, if I can remember, but it's been a while. So we'll pop this and see what we get. There we go, baby.
It's been a while.
There we go.
That one. So wait, how long has this been?
Yeah.
These were all made the same year. So about 6-7 years ago.
6-7 years.
6-7 years.
Yeah. Yeah, these are ciders, aged ciders.
Now, this one obviously has some more carbonation.
Yeah, it's going to have some heat behind it because that shit went.
Yeah.
That shit sound like a game-winning home run. That sound like when Lindor hit that grand slam to bring us within one run because we trying to sweep the Yankees, yo. Shout out to the Indians because we trying to sweep the Yankees, but we got to get rid of the Chief Wahoo logo.
Yeah. It's the same as, these are all naturally fermented, blah, blah, blah. And you're going to get a little bit of yeast that has just settled into the bottom of the bottle. But man, that's the part you chew on.
This definitely smells like
accentuates
juice.
it,
I like this.
So here we go, man. This is about 6-7 years on it.
We got a little cinnamon there?
No, it's just natural, four blends of apples and yeast. And absolutely nothing else added to it. 7 years added to it. 7 years of aging. This is, this is a real
carbonation on there. Yeah, I mean, like it like bubbles and then it kind of like pops. It's like
it
dances.
It like runs down your tongue a little bit. Pause. Like
Yeah, like with the bubbles allow like the apples to kind of like make their appearance before they all exit.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Honey Chris. That's what it do. I love it though.
So here we are getting in. This is I've always been a proponent of this, but barrel aging and long term everything. So just like you would have a distiller, whatever it is, but here it is. We have cider that's 7 years old. We have beer that that I have that's a year and a half. But I mean, the longer it goes, I mean, it's just like getting back into wine and whiskey, and the longer that it spends in the barrel, the longer that it ages, the more complex it becomes, the more it smooths out, and you just just gain so many advantages with it.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing with like stews. You know what I mean? Like stews are always best like the third day out. You know what I mean? You make it as cool, you get but then like I feel like they make flavor babies. You know what I mean? That's what I call them, because like on the third, man, it's sort of like a good chili. It gets a little hotter, and like the flavors start to mingle or whatever. You know what I mean? They get to know each other, in the pot, and then by the third day, they make some new flavor babies that you're like, oh shit,
Yeah, no, I guess. Flavor babies. I don't know. It's like when you let meat sit in a marinade overnight.
That's right.
You add heat to it. You know what I mean? Like anything that can soak in and start to really familiarize itself with its environment.
Whether it's
live its best life.
Whether you're thinking about cooking or brewing, I mean, it's the added time, the added love, everything, and obviously it's going to be better. I mean, it's just going to be better if you come home and you slap something together that takes 45 minutes versus something that took you 6 hours to prep a meal. I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to know the difference between the two.
And you said that.
And that's the thing, is that like fast food doesn't age well because there's no like love or preparation put in it.
It's not food, man. That stuff's just so loaded with preservatives. Have you ever seen those things with one of the leading fast food places where they have a picture of a cheeseburger and somebody sets it on a shelf, and 7 years from now they take a picture. It's still the same thing. It hasn't even grown mold on it. It hasn't done anything. There's so many preservatives in it. This stuff is a huge problem with what's actually killing us right now.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right, the process. And that's the thing, is that like even like quality food will last, and it'll have a different, even with steak, right? Like you're not going to get the same flavors, but I love a cold steak like sliced up on a salad or whatever.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because the texture is a little different, and the fat in it even like kind of gets it, and it becomes nice and chewy, and it just like falls in. So like you're not getting the same like aroma and the same like flavors or whatever, but the texture changes, and like you can enjoy the quality as it kind of like, but like fast food, you don't get that at all. You know what I mean? And like you can't drink a warm Coors Light because it's not, you know what I mean? So like all of these things, you know what I mean? Like, I guess the running theme is that if you have high quality, food that you're putting in, beer is a food. You know what I mean? Like you're putting, high quality food in, then you can enjoy the flavors years from now, you know what I mean? Or like with a little bit of time added to it, as opposed to your bullshit that you're just like, meh.
Yeah, so shout out to, listen, wifey, don't be mad because it take me so long to cook dinner. I'm trying to create those characteristics, profiles. I'm trying to attack your palate. That's why it takes me so long to cook dinner.
I'm trying to get through your heart, through your palate.
Exactly.
I have to apologize. I have to follow suit and break my seal, but I'll be...
Seal breaker is a deal breaker.
There it is.
And don't be mad if we break into this cooler. Seal breaker's a deal breaker. It's the first time we had one solo guest. Yeah. We just broke the seal. We lost.
That's new.
We lost right now. I just got to talk today. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do to talking today.
I don't even know.
What the fuck I'm supposed to say to you? I'm wondering.
But no, I mean, I do want to, again, I'll take this time out, like Thrival, shout out to Thrival, that whole, man, that was an experience.
Hell yeah. Well, just to be able to be a part of that, and then on top of that, drink a drink named after us. Like live your best life, man.
Yeah.
Do whatever it is that you really got a passion for, and you'll see yourself in situations that you never thought. Like growing up, I never thought I was gonna be drinking craft beer. I didn't see myself as some sort of craft beer ambassador. You know what I mean?
I didn't even know what craft beer. I didn't even know what beer was really. I didn't even know how it was made technically.
We was drinking Old English. It was just the shit my uncle drank that got him talking different at the end of the night. I'm like, you know what? I should do that. I remember a nigga told me, it's so funny. A dude told me, I was 16 years old. Motherfucker tapped me on the shoulder. Old head said, "Hey man, listen. You drink Remy, you fuck like a champ." I said, that's a weird thing for an old head to say to a 16-year-old, but I do want to try Remy Martin now. I do want to try this.
the knowledge that's passed down.
The knowledge that's passed down. Like, why ain't nobody tell me about craft? Motherfucker tapped me and said, "Yo, you drink Remy, you fuck like a champ." And it's because I was dating this girl in his neighborhood. So weirdly, that's a weird thing. Like, why you trying to put me on to this teenage girl? You grown as hell. But
living vicariously, I mean, maybe
I don't know,
seeing
because
like
that's weird to
like
say.
if it,
You don't want to say living vicariously.
I guess maybe just like, all right, well, these are the mistakes that I made. If I had this knowledge at your age, I mean,
he's saying,
like,
all right, if I was drinking Remy at your, okay, I guess
you one of them type things.
He'd
like,
have had a better reputation.
He would have had a man.
So while we waiting on our guests and we talking about this living vicariously, what's up with your boy Nelly singing to these little girls on stage? Did you see this shit?
No,
they arrested Nelly on rape charges. And I don't know anything about what happened with Nelly with these rape allegations. They say they found a woman on a tour bus, but people have now started releasing videos where I guess he's on some sort of tour, and one of the shticks that he's been doing is bringing a young girl on stage and rapping over and over again to her and twirling her hair. We gotta save our people.
Wait. He brings them on stage.
He brings them on stage.
And then he does several songs
he starts
with them
singing over and over
on
again.
stage.
I think she's leaving, but he's like twirling the little girl's hair.
And this is a whole crowd of people that are just
this is a
that's
concert.
cool.
First of all, what the fuck is your daughter doing at a Nelly concert? What time is this concert happening? Why you let your daughter go on stage with Nelly? But second of all, Nelly, what the fuck is you doing?
Well, I mean, you gotta. And here's the thing about like, I mean, you're looking at like these situations or whatever where, you know, people are seeing shit like this, these signs in public, and they're letting it go. And then afterwards,
it wasn't a big thing until
it
got
happens,
the rape
and then you're like,
allegation.
oh well, you know, I kind of maybe that was a little weird or whatever.
No, it was weird from the gate.
From the gate,
when he brought your daughter on stage, that shit was strange.
I think that, like, you know, as a society, we gotta start looking at because I'm sick of hearing, oh well, it didn't seem like they seemed like a cool guy, or you know what, maybe once I looked at it, like, speak up, man. If you see some shit that's weird, be like, yo, if I'm in a concert and I see a little girl go on stage and he gets a rap or whatever, I'm be like, all these women, all these grown ass women out here.
As a father of a small daughter, you not getting on stage with what the fuck Nelly song is made for kids.
There wasn't one like dad figure in the situation was like, yo, man, this is
who the fuck bought their daughter a ticket? Was he performing at a park? What's going on? That's so many questions, man. And our guest is back. I just had to get that off my chest because goddamn Nelly, what the fuck is you doing?
You see something, say something. Yeah, I mean,
if you see something, say something.
Say something. Yeah, I mean,
sorry you had to come back to
that.
that.
That's all right.
It's a black community thing, man. We had to discuss.
I feel like there was a stop snitching culture, and now like it's okay to snitch in certain
situations. Man,
situations.
After R. Kelly, you can't let none of that shit slide.
Yeah,
he can't speak to a kid in the supermarket without some sort of like Nelly.
You see a group of girls run up and get an autograph, you got to be in there.
You got to see the video, man.
Because
I saw a couple separate videos, and the little girls is just on stage like these. First of all, they too young to know who the fuck Nelly is. You ain't had a hit since Shake Your Tail Feather, motherfucker.
Yeah, like Nelly, like
what is you doing?
Like Nelly, I remember when I got to college, Nelly was like what all the white boys was pumping. You know what I mean?
Well, he had that Hot in Her.
Yeah, Hot in Her. I mean, that was like so he had a good 5-year run. So anything after 2005 is highly questionable.
I have an affinity to Nelly because, you know, Nelly was popping when I was in high school. I don't think it was called twerk at that time. They was backing their ass up. You know, I got some of my first erections on Nelly songs. You know what I mean? Like,
was it drip tip drill?
Oh, tip drill was the first porn I saw.
Man.
Must be your ass because it ain't your face. That's the most disrespectful shit I've ever heard.
That
on a song.
fucking video changed the industry.
It must be your ass because it ain't your face.
Yeah.
And women was dancing.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. When a rapper that got a song out like Tip Drill brings a motherfucking little girl on stage, no. Once Tip Drill drops, nobody on stage should be less than 30. That's just it. I mean, you're talking about 30 and over. I see a 25-year-old, I'm going to be like, yo, decent mono.
Why is your 8-year-old daughter at a Nelly concert? Can somebody please explain to me what the fuck these little girls are doing?
Is that Paisanos you got over there, bro? See what I'm saying?
We still got Mike.
Is that Paisanos right over there? Oh, yeah, no.
All right, so we're going to get into this. Our guest is back. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We got you. Listen, I don't know if you are a fan of Nelly, but what the fuck is you doing, Nelly?
Yeah.
Please.
What the fuck is you doing, crowd that watched that shit go down?
Look, you pay for some tickets, you gonna let some shit slide.
Nah,
You pay your money for tickets, you gonna be like, all right, I'm just gonna let this. I'm trying to get my money's worth. Nah, this shit weird as fuck, but I'm gonna let that go if he goes to my song. You know, you go to a concert, you waiting for your song.
I mean, I guess if you fucked up, and then maybe not. I mean, that's what it is. Typically, when I go to a concert, I'm fucked up. All right, maybe not the crowd, but Nelly, parents.
Nah, to go back to on the Hilltopolis though, we had the Nelly lookalike in the crowd. We talking about the dude look like Nelly.
Yeah,
that motherfucker was on his Down Baby.
With
that
the
show.
North Carolina jersey. Like, who is still? I have not seen a nigga in public with a basketball jersey on in a while. Like, especially sleeveless with the headband.
Yeah, that was the headbands, but it was the head. It wasn't just a headband; it was a Nike headband where the check was upside down. That's a very specific style for like 2004.
Oh, it was upside down.
Tops.
Oh, so that was calculated.
Yeah, that
like
was.
You looked in the mirror. You made sure that it was upside down. Yeah. Like, I'm gonna make sure people ask me, why is that upside down?
Yeah, he should have had a wristband on. Like, he went back to them Franchise Boys with it. He should have had a wristband on. He was shaking his Laffy Taffy. Shout out to him, man.
Laffy Taffy.
We got Jeff Bloom back in the building. He broke the seal. Hopefully he's back. You good?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, it's a deal.
So what we breaking into this time, man?
Okay, so we're just going to move forward with the cider here.
Cider.
I brought 3 of them. So
cider's doing me good.
This one is. I remember the apple. It was like a Granny Smith green apple, so it already had a lot of sharp bite to it.
I love the Granny Smith.
And so I here we are. We're gonna,
who doesn't love a Granny Smith?
7 years later,
sweet, but she'll bite you.
Yeah, Granny.
Well, Granny Smith might not have no teeth, and that was good.
So we got another pop. So this one's got a little bit of carbonation.
Nice.
Cool. Bubbly. Oh yeah, this one's loud. It's loud, yo.
It's loud.
It's loud.
It's got that loud.
It's loud. Like it come through the door. Like, yo, we here. That's
this one comes out a lot drier.
Oh yeah,
we here. That's how it is when you taste it.
I don't know, it's like up. Yeah, like you said, loud. Like
rock with it. What is the process of making a cider? Like, how do you do different flavors, are there different styles of cider, or is it just like?
I honestly don't know that. I mean, you can have different blends of. Let's just say we're dealing with apple cider, so obviously different types of apples are going to contribute their own thing, and then just like beer, the different yeast strains are going to impart what the yeast do, and then I'm sure there are flavored ciders, if you want to add additional flavors to it, whether it's spices or other fruits, to complement the apple. But I like everything, as far as this stuff goes, I like it in its purest form. It's just, you're tasting it for what it is. I mean,
it tastes like apples that you put in the motherfucking bottle.
Yeah.
And and that's the thing, is that the alcohol is not prevalent on this.
Oh, absolutely
at
not.
all.
I honestly,
it's like juice.
Yeah, I couldn't give you a measurement on this stuff, but I mean, we're probably in the 5 to 6% range, minimum
safe.
on it.
That's safe for us.
Well, yeah, I mean that's good, but you can't taste any of that at all.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
you think you're just drinking juice.
Yeah, so for a lightweight or somebody that's not really into that, yeah, I mean,
just the shit Cosby should have used.
Yeah, it'll get you.
So I want to get back into a beer that you had mentioned earlier, and it was the first beer, and I'll get into a little background explanation on that, but it's the first beer that we had to go through the lengthy process with the federal government to submit our entire recipe, because we were using what was considered an exotic ingredient, which was black walnuts.
And that's because you guys put us with the process of naming.
Yes.
And all of the, back and forth, that goes in with naming and the whole nine. So, I appreciate, because that was the first time I was like, man, maybe there's a little bit more than just, brewing or whatever. And, this, with the feds and the back and forth. So, here's another, layer that you're adding to it. So, now you have to submit your ingredient list.
You do. So, what happened, this was a few years ago, is the federal government had a list of pre-approved brewing ingredients that you could put on an 8x11 piece of paper. Very few. I mean, 15 something.
With as many ingredients that go into brew these days, how the fuck did that?
Exactly. So let's just say that it wasn't working very well. So what would happen is when you ended up coming up with a recipe that did not have one of these pre-approved ingredients, you had to go through this super lengthy process of submitting your entire recipe to the federal government. I mean, they wanted to know, the exact recipe. They wanted to know exactly how you brewed it, the times, the very, very specifics. And I just felt that was a little bit, it was like infringing on proprietary information. I just felt like I'm going to give you my secret recipe. You know what I mean? Because
even on labels or whatever, like it'll say plus like natural ingredients or whatever. You know what I mean? And that's just the shit that they don't want you to, because they don't want to give out their secret. But you had to give them the natural ingredients.
Yes.
Like
so I wasn't really comfortable with that. But I mean, what are you going to do? And I mean, overall, Big Brother. Yeah, I mean, you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I give somebody a recipe to something, and all of a sudden, it might not seem like anything, but really is. It's a big deal. But anyhow, I was working fairly closely with the one person that was in charge of that process, and there was this little thing at the bottom of your pre-approved ingredient list that if you can prove that you had other ingredients that were being utilized by some larger scale breweries, that you can file an exemption and you wouldn't have to go through this lengthy process of the whole recipe thing.
Yeah, like what do they call it in court? Like a precedence.
So I ended up I spent a lot of time and I researched a bunch of breweries and I found out the specific year they started to use ingredients and and then I put this big thing together of all the ingredients that I wanted. And I'm like, this is a home run, man. I'm going to be able to get this exemption and we can move forward. So there were only like 3 people working in this department that took care of the United States.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you guys were telling us about, like the naming thing.
Yes.
It was a super, very small.
Yes, it was one guy. It was one guy when it started out a few years ago.
There's one guy for the naming. There's 3 guys for the ingredients.
Well, the government just gotta make shit tough. It's like they sit in a room and they're like, all right, how do we make this shit tough? How do we make this difficult?
What's the least amount of people?
Let's cut down staff. Let's cut down staff. Listen, you got every state that starts with an even numbered letter.
Yeah,
what?
I went into the Social Security office to get like a copy of my Social Security card, and there were 3 people in that motherfucker. 3 people. There were at least like 6 or 7 stations, and I still was in that bitch for like a half hour. I have no idea what anybody was doing at these other stations because I'm like, so you just gonna sit there and like, was you eating your lunch? Like, why is this whole ass like thing sitting there?
Technically, we run a deficit, so everybody in there, we ain't got enough to pay them motherfuckers. That's what it is with the government.
What was cool, even though my hands were tied at the moment and I didn't have access to these particular ingredients, is, and I can't remember the woman's name, but she not only would communicate via email or whatever, but she would call me and say, hey, Jeff. And basically what it came down to is she said, we've never seen somebody's proposal for their exemption. You did a really good job, She says, but we're sort of at a catch-22 where I cannot approve your pre-approved ingredients list because we're focusing on changing the entire system to benefit the whole brewing community. So there was about another year interim.
What does that mean?
Yeah. So she was like, I'm going to inconvenience you because I'm trying to convenience you.
Yeah. But, a year later,
you good, but nah.
We ended up getting a phone call, and they changed the pre-approved ingredients list from, say, 12 to maybe 75 or so. I mean, it went way up.
Yeah.
And I didn't get every single thing that I asked for, but damned if I didn't get almost everything I asked for. I think I submitted 24 different exemptions, and I got 23 out of the 24. So, and one of the exemptions that I asked for, there was only one other brewery that I know that was using that ingredient at the time. So I like to think that I was actually part of what this process was to make this thing streamlined and move forward, but it was kumquats.
Kumquats.
Kumquats are little tiny Asian oranges. You know, they're the size of a little bit larger than a grape.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about them is you just pop them into your mouth like you would a grape. And they're just, like I said, they're a little orange. So they have an outside skin and there's this layer on the inside, but they're opposite of all the other citrus. The sweet part of the kumquat is actually the rind.
Really?
And the inside is actually the sour part.
What?
Yeah.
I did not know. Wait,
kumquats just sound like testicles.
Yeah, I mean, kumquat sounds like
just sound all the way like testicles.
Oh, it's definitely foreplay in there somehow. Like kumquat.
The sweet,
yeah. So we do
say that to wife.
I didn't even. Now I want to taste these motherfuckers. So
no,
you just eat
you
the whole
gonna have
thing.
to
Yes.
pause that.
So it's like a mini orange. You just
like a
pop
mini
it
orange
in your mouth and you eat the whole thing.
Yes.
And you get sweet and sour.
Yes.
Because like the rind is typically like ultra bitter. Like you get that.
It is.
Like,
Typically it would be, but in this case, the rind is actually the sweet part, and the inside of it is sour. But
that's what those are.
So I tried one of these out one day. I've had them before, but it had been a long time. And I think I was down in the Strip District, maybe one of the Asian markets, and I'm always looking for, a different twist on things. So whether that be spices and fruit and everything, we're always searching for something. So I get this bag of kumquats, and it's like, man, it's been a while since I've had one of these. I want to try it out and see what they do, So we start popping them, and it was like, God damn, I mean, this is going to make an amazing sour beer. So that's what we do when we get them. Kumquats only come around once a year. There's only one season for them.
Yeah.
But then we end up doing a kumquat sour with them. But they're pretty phenomenal.
Like the Mackinac peaches.
Yes.
So what is what makes these exempt, or what is it that they consider to make an exception? Like,
I think
these are all naturally growing organisms. Like, why would one be like, all right, you can't put this in beer, and one is like, all right, you could put this in beer?
I think it was just, we're just dealing with antiquated policies.
Oh, so the government just assholes. And it's cool. You don't have to say it. We'll say it. We're not.
So,
are we monitored by the government? Probably, but
so they saw the growth in the industry.
Yeah, we are.
Nah, no.
Oh, they got
It's
something
internet,
on.
man.
Yeah,
It's a wild west, man.
on.
I have yet to run in. We have said the wildest shit that I think. We've had Alex Sapula on this fucking podcast.
He said some wild shit.
And we've said the most wild shit we possibly can, and somehow we have not got a letter in the mail. So I don't know if anybody's paying attention.
We don't check that P.O. box, but stop making shit difficult, government.
Hey, Buzzy, are we governed? Is the government paying attention to us?
Oh, no, Epicast,
laws?
Epicast, they probably watch Epicast.
Is there are we? Oh, the Trump. Well, no, but that's not the podcast. I was like, is podcasting is there a thing we gotta submit to? Or we? Nah, because we don't give a fuck. That's what it is. Yeah. Fuck them.
So I have to give you an upfront apology on this one. This was my last keg of a beer that we just kegged it not too long ago, but I was trying to save this one. It wasn't quite carved up. So I didn't have it ready to be served yet, but I wanted to bring it tonight for you to try out. And so it's a little bit undercarved is what I'm saying.
Oh,
with this
man.
one.
Well,
So,
I mean, that has been working thus far.
so anyways, and this was very cool, at least to me. I can't speak for anybody else, but we did Construction Junction, which is one of my absolute favorite beer shows. And we ended up bringing 7 beers, and we always bring a big variety when we do the shows anyways. But I was passing along the blueberry sour that was barrel aged behind the scenes to all the brewers, friends of brewers, and so forth.
That's the exclusive we got earlier.
And I was like, hey, man, everybody's really going to like this. That's a beer I was pushing, but it wasn't served to the general public. So I didn't bring anything that I thought was show worthy or whatever. I mean, that's not my intention. I could give 2 shits about winning an award for something,
That's noble.
My whole thing is whether you like it or whether I like it.
Yeah.
So, if we both like it, then I think we're going in the right direction. But
all I'm trying to do is win your dollars.
so, yeah, that's it, man. So, it was about a week that went by after the show, and I saw somebody post, it was a top 10 best beer list, from, general vote. And somebody was posting, hey, everybody else is doing this. I'm going to post mine too. So it was another small brewery like us. I mean, they're only like a 2-barrel operation. And I'm looking at the list, and they made number 9. And I'm like, man, that's pretty cool. These guys got number 9 because you got 3,000, 4,000 people that are in attendance for that show. So I'm working my way up from the bottom of the list, 10, 9. Here we ended up doing number 4
I
with
saw that list. You know what? That list went like wildfire, like in the local like craft beer community, like or whatever. Like it went because it was in the Pittsburgh craft beer like group or whatever. And then I saw like a couple other brewers like had posted and whatnot, and I saw Bloom Brew on it. And again, we've been following you guys like since we first started. Like when you came on the podcast and whatnot. You guys were at the 100th episode and whatnot, and like like I follow like the brewers, you know what I mean? And like I'm always like cheering from a distance, like, oh yeah, that, and I saw that you guys had made that. I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. And this is that.
I can't put my finger. I'm over here trying to figure out. I'm trying to like break down what I can't put my finger on what this is.
Yeah, I can't either. Like, because it has like lager characteristics. There's like some.
So it's a blend of 2 different hops. I mean, it's a pretty basic grain bill on it, but. And I'm really, I've been a fan of this beer, but I didn't think it was, I didn't think it was anything that was going to win anything. You know what I mean? It was just something that I enjoyed.
A little toasty, a little malty.
And something that I didn't even push ends up taking number 4 out of, like I said, out of what I consider to be one of the biggest, best local, beer shows because there's a few other shows that focus specifically on just local, but Steel City Big Pour, probably 90% of the breweries they have are all within 50-mile radius of Pittsburgh. I mean, they try to take local into consideration first. And then they'll get some brewers that might be just outside of where we're at, maybe New York, maybe Ohio. I mean, they're just, they're not that far away is what I'm trying to say. They try to keep it as close as they can. But just the fact that there were 45 breweries, probably on average, each brewery brought 5 beers. So we're talking about 250 beers. And I ended up taking number 4 on a beer we weren't even promoting.
Yeah.
So I'm down with that.
Them is the moments where like, because I mean, I'm sure as a brewer, as a business owner, I mean, like, you're getting into something and like there's those moments where you're like, what the fuck am I doing, man? And I mean, like,
he had them ciders. He got shit just stacked at the crib.
Well, I mean, shit. Now, yeah, you might be right. After having shit in your basement in gross bottles 6-7 years, you're like, clearly I need to be in. But I mean, like, it's those little things that you don't even expect and that like come around and be like, all right, a little bit of recognition to let you know, like, all right, keep moving,
Well, everybody likes recognition.
So all these years, I was always a fan. I mean, I've been, a fan long before I even started the homebrew. I've just always been a beer fan for life. But we attended the first Steel City Big Pour, and I think this past year was its 11th year, if I'm not mistaken. But I've only missed one show in that entire span. And a few years ago, prior to us opening our business, we were done with just a bunch of friends, and we all had Bloom Brew shirts on because we were always promoting even before we even thought about doing it as a business.
That's how. I was at open mics with fucking cameras because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
He had a camera crew,
but if I'm gonna do it, I need people to know I'm doing it.
He was practicing with a camera crew.
So Rick Seaback that year is filming 25 Things I Like About Pittsburgh.
Ricky Salvage, man, we fucks with him.
So what we would used to do is we would get there super early and we would stand right behind where they have the chain to let the people in first because when you're letting in a crowd of 1,500, 2,000 people, it makes a huge difference whether you're at the beginning of the line or the back of the line.
Yeah.
So if you're at the front of the line, you're going to be able to taste everything or eat the things that you want to try. If you're a number 2,000, maybe it's going to be gone by the time you get there. It just the enjoyment factor. So the 1 year prior to us opening, Rick is doing the filming for 25 Things I Like About Pittsburgh. And they open the chain, and we're like one of the first 10 people in there. It's my whole crew. Everybody's wearing Bloom Brew shirts. And it was just really cool. The next year, and it was just so surreal because it was the first year we were in business and we got the invite to do the Big Pour. The next year, I'm standing on the opposite side of the chain, and I was drinking our beer, and I was taunting the audience with it. So it was just like, man, this is, I've made it.
That is fucking
We
awesome.
did it. We
man.
did it.
Yeah, I mean.
So what is this though? We still
Yeah,
have.
we still haven't figured out what this is.
This one is called The Doctor Is In.
The doctor is in.
I
The
like
doctor
to
is
say that
in.
to
Yeah.
wifey.
Yeah. So what style is it? Like, what's the?
It's a double IPA, and this beer will cure all your ails.
God damn, if I'm gonna use that.
It will cure
I'm gonna
all
use that.
your ails.
Tell wifey, girl, don't let me get on the market again. You better lock me up, wifey, before I be walking around talking about the doctor's in. I'll be walking up to chicks at the bar like, hey, the doctor's in. Let me give you a colonoscopy.
Oh god! If you guys don't know, man, this is our second episode. This is 2 of 2.
Yeah, we've been trying to hold
We
it together.
sti- we
We've
sti-
held it together pretty well.
We still got Mr. Potter in the building.
We still got him
from
over here
the
sampling.
first episode. He's
been a good day.
You've been enjoying these?
It's been a good day, man.
Yeah, it's been a very good day. I mean, we wanna, you know, get an event going or whatever. All the collabs. We'd love to have Blue Brew come in. You know what I mean? Like as a part of that. We appreciate the fact that you, again, early out, we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. We were just like, we're comedians and we like to laugh and drink and like we didn't know what the fuck. And like you guys came through and I mean, you fucking like you showed the fuck out. Like I mean, honestly, that episode. If you're listening right now. Go back. I want to say it's after the 13, so I want to say maybe 15, 16. I don't know. Ed usually does the, you know what I mean? But
you can't just put the pressure on me and just start referencing shit like I'm supposed to just know off the top. Like,
go back to that episode, man.
Early.
That was one of the first lessons that you guys gave us a lesson in beer. You came with a bevy of, and I was like, I didn't even know people knew how to make that many shit.
Strong.
Yeah, and everything was a different motherfucker. And I was like, what the fuck is a sour? And why am I drinking a
I
wing
think
right
we've done
now?
2 episodes of them. We've had 37 beers.
Yeah.
So
It was, you know what I mean? And like, you know, it's amazing to see you guys, you know what I mean, still kicking, still doing the thing and whatnot, and pushing that forward. So we appreciate that. I mean, and like as we've grown, we've watched you guys grown, and now we coming back on this and like, man.
And I'm mad they went on that boat without me, but we ain't we gonna let that go because we was talking about where was we at? We was at Beers of the Bird. We was talking about that shit, and then he just went on the boat without me. But we're not gonna dwell on that. But if you could, Jeff, let the people know where they can find you.
They can find us. Our tap room is open, and what we only do is we only give away free samples and we sell growlers. So you can come in, you can try 24 different beers, growler fills, and I did take in to consideration where we're located. So I can also assure you that it's going to be some of the best pricing. Also, it's definitely going to be worth your money to come down and try some free samples and do some fills. But we're at 100 Riverside Drive, West Newton, PA. So if you're coming from the South Hills, it's an easy run down Route 51. As soon as you cross over the Elizabeth Bridge, you take Route 136 towards West Newton, and you'll cross over the West Newton Bridge. And we actually share space with the West Newton Volunteer Fire Department.
Yeah.
So if you need to put it in, and I've already checked Google and whatever an app that you're using, but they seem to be pretty consistent. But if you're up on the upper street, which is Water Street, you have to drive around the backside of the building facing the river, and that's where we're located.
You got that East End kind of vibe a little bit. Like we ain't all out there with the but for the nose, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you got the fire department there. You don't want people to know.
For the folks that know,
Motherfuckers coming and just pissing on the fire, like.
And you guys are right there on the river.
We're right on the river
and the trail.
The
right?
Gap Trail.
What trail is that? It's like
the Gap.
It goes like from there to like DC or some shit.
It goes from Pittsburgh to DC, and they just completed a portion of it. They had a tunnel that used to be old rail property.
El Chapo.
That was in really bad disrepair, and that was the last link of the trail to be able to open it where you can ride your bike all the way from Pittsburgh to DC or vice versa. But the really cool thing of what a lot of people do if you have the time to do it is if you ride all the way from Pittsburgh to DC, and then you can take the Amtrak train, and they have specific train cars to tote your bikes back. I mean, they're catering to this because it's just becoming, an increasingly
It's a phenomenon.
Yeah,
man. Like bikers.
People are riding their bikes to DC.
People are riding their bikes to DC.
Well,
bro.
that's absolutely nothing. That's
Yeah.
absolutely nothing.
That's
because
absolutely something. I haven't ridden nigga, I wouldn't ride my bike to school. Fuck out of here.
I'm going to tell you right now, we get so much, it's increasing as time goes on. But you think about all the European countries and all these other, countries that biking is a way of life for these people.
I was in
They
Amsterdam.
They don't have cars. They ride around on bikes. We have people that come in. I mean, and specifically, they'll spend a week's vacation. They'll come in from Europe, and they will bike, Pittsburgh to DC or vice versa. And then they'll look up their itinerary. Hey, what are we going to do? We're going to stay at these bed and breakfasts. We're going to eat here. Well, guess what? We're going to stop at Bloom Brew, and we're going to try out the only brewery that's right on the trail,
Yeah,
man.
right, yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's right on the trail. You got you got the Pittsburgh to DC connection. There's the Lazy River. I mean, like the float that's right there.
Oh, yeah.
Like you can cause that's what I did. We came down, got a couple
bike?
growlers. I'm not a biking type motherfucker.
Well then don't try to act like you a part of
but
this.
no. But what you got to understand is that there's so much shit going on down here.
You drove to the Lazy
I
River.
drove down. I got some growlers. I went up to the beginning point, and then you hop on a canoe. And what you do is you hop on a
sounds like
canoe.
you do shit.
No. What you do is you hop on a canoe with some growlers, and then you just float for like 3 hours. And that's
Which
all
sounds
you
cool as fuck.
is it?
But it
You're
don't
just-
sound like you did any work.
I didn't exactly. That's
drove-
the beauty of it. That's what I'm.
drove-
Yeah, I mean, like,
Buzzy, I drove to the beginning point.
yeah.
I got some growlers and then I floated.
If you don't want to, if you ain't the working type,
And then I
what I'm
floated back
saying
to
is,
my car.
what I'm saying is, if you ain't the working type, if you a lazy motherfucker like me, what you can do is come through, grab a couple growlers, hop in the canoe, and then just float down the river for 3
I
hours.
drove to the beginning point.
So if you happen to do this, and there are a lot of people that do that, that have canoes and kayaks and so forth, and I mean they're out on the water every weekend as long as the water is good.
Yeah.
But if not, there are 2 outfitters, and there's actually going to be a 3rd one opening next summer that you can just drive there. You can rent a canoe, kayak, whatever it might be. So, what we get a lot of is we get a lot of people that come in and they stop at our place first. They fill up their new growlers. One of them being something that we just got this past year, which is a plastic growler.
No. Is that it?
Yeah, it is. That's it. So what we've
Yeah, it would still look kind of glass too. With
What-
the dark shit. Yeah. it
what
look
we've
glass.
had, we've always focused on these 32-ounce ones for a number of reasons, but just because of the big variety of beer.
Well, with 24, that is more conducive because you want to get more of that as opposed to having a 64. You know what I mean, and then getting one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People want to try more things out,
Yeah.
but what we were losing out on was, the people that were actually doing the Gap Trail where they were on the river, and they're like, man, I'd like to take a growler with me, but I'm riding to Washington, D.C. I mean, that's not possible.
Yeah.
So we ended up getting these growlers at a very reasonable cost, and we sell the plastic growler, for $1.
See, and
Well, yeah,
usually a
it's plastic.
growler is like $5. Like, you know what I mean, at least.
$1. So
Nice, yeah.
Or you
if
can get you a satchel on your bike and just ride to DC.
And it's low weight.
You could be like Robin Thicke at his first video when he's like, "When I get you alone, and people who know Robin Thicke know that reference. When I get you alone, Robin Thicke. That's before he got that black chick. When I get you alone, I would listen to Robin Thicke riding a bike. Ride your bike, drink Bloom Brew. Don't drive to the beginning point and get on the lazy river like Day.
So
Do
these
some
are
bullshit.
these growlers are designed to be recyclable. We have a lot of people that have environmental
Local,
concerns, and but,
environmentally friendly.
So,
God
yeah,
damn, what
what-
ain't y'all doing?
We ain't getting you alone. All right. Well, look, Dave, let the
online.
people know.
Online, where can they find you
where
online?
Can they find you online?
you can find us online, Facebook, just Bloom Brew. We do most of our day-to-day activities on Facebook, but we also utilize Instagram and Twitter. And we do have a website. It's just bloombrew.com. So I keep some basic information on there, but all of our day-to-day activities definitely happen with Facebook. No, I have some other beers. We have time to drink.
No,
or?
we can do that off. We can do that.
Yeah, no, we're gonna do that off. I'm about to give me some paisanos.
Something.
And we
all just worked. Y'all motherfuckers just watching like, oh, they just have fun. We working, man. I had to make sure we hit certain
pizza
points.
and we gonna crack
I
into
had to
them
watch my
afterwards,
language.
you know what I mean?
I had to make sure
And
that
I
they
got
were reflected in a good light. I haven't broken the seal. 2 episodes, I didn't break the seal. Both of these motherfuckers pissed. I didn't piss at all.
I did.
Man,
You know.
I'm gonna finish this. Let me tell you something about these plastic growlers. All right, you take a growler on a road trip, you can pee in this in the car. You do
Yes,
know
you
that,
can.
right? That's
Yeah.
why Gatorade is so popular.
Yeah.
Gatorade ain't
the
it ain't no-
Gatorade bottles ain't nothing more clutch because they
Thank
got the
you.
wide mouth.
Thank you.
There it is.
That ain't no fucking sports drink.
You know the problem with these 64s though.
I thought it was the only one. Like the
That
wide
ain't
mouth. Like, oh, that's clutch.
That ain't no fucking sports drink. Anything with a wide mouth is better. They let them know where they can find us before we
Hey, yo,
get too crazy.
we are the Drinking Partners. If you're looking for us, you can find us on epicastnetwork.com/partnerspod. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, and Google Play under Drinking Partners. And you can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook at PartnersPod.
Hey man, we want to shout out Jeff Bloom and Bloom Brew.
Yeah.
Some of the best beer we've had. They've been with us from the gate.
Sours in the building.
Sours in the building. That's a weird thing to yell on your way out the door. But again, we want to thank you for coming through. We're going to continue to drink and have a good time. You people, live your best life. As always, Drinking Partners is the crew. Epicast is the family, and we out of here.